Hello everyone, Flying Scotsman here and welcome to this video. My name is Jay Wakefield and here we have a laptop which I have paid way too much for. Suppose I'll tell you a wee bit how I got it. Well, this was posted, this machine was brought to my attention in a retro computer group that I'm in. And you know, I decided to take a punt on it. It was about £10-20, and you know how sometimes on eBay you don't get to know how much someone has bid up to. Well, I kept being turned down for my bids, and just as it was way to end, I decided to see how far I could go. Unfortunately, I think it was £60 odd, 62 or 65, I can't mind the exact figure, that was the one in which was the figure in which I would actually win. Unfortunately, the interest that was in this machine at the beginning of the auction just wasn't there by the time I bid up that amount. Oops. So here I am having to pay 60 odd quid for essentially a run-of-the-mill laptop from 1998. A Celeron machine with no 3D graphics of any kind. In fact, using the very run-of-the-mill Neomagic Magigraph 128 graphics card. And actually, I already have a machine which is slightly better, but has a slightly smaller screen, but it has the smaller resolution of 800 by 600 as well. Now that might sound like that would be an inferior machine, but given my vision, actually no. 800 by 600 is not a bad resolution for the screen size of that machine. So yeah, anyway, all that kind of said and done and what have you. I did have a 3612C back in 2011. Some of you might remember it. But I eventually decided to get, well, I had to get rid of it. I can't remember how I got rid of it. But anyway, I ended up with this machine, which is a 3613C. Don't know how it differs from the last one. Actually, I think the last one had a 6 gig drive, whereas this only has a 4. Oops. Or I could be wrong. Can't mind. But yeah. So I have this machine, apparently all in working order. And, you know, I've been playing about with it a bit last night. So let's have a look at it. So it's got kind of a nice silvery, bluey, grey finish on the lid and on the palm rest. It's quite small, I believe a 14-inch machine. I kind of like the size of it, actually, I must admit. I do like these machines. They are quite... They're understated, but at the same time quite handsome machines. You'd not think that it was a home machine, which is, to be honest, what it is, because Packard Bell, they didn't really make machines. They didn't make business machines, really. I mean, I think they had a go, like, you know, the Executive series might have hinted at being a business end machine. But for the most part, Packard Bell computers were basically synonymous with home computers. But you know, and as a result, that they would be geared up for the home with the software, and then later years, with the way that they would, actually not even in the later years, just in general, they would kind of go all out to you know, change the, you know, make different program groups for things to go in, you know, to categorize programs, which I always kind of liked, you know, which would make things easier to kind of navigate for people, you know, to make it easier to work out where you would find programs for people who are new to computers. That was one of Packard Bell's things. It was that they would, you know, cater towards people who just hadn't used a computer. Anyway, if you want to know more about Packard Bell throughout like the years, certainly the mid-90s, I would recommend going visiting my friend the Nostalgia Mall. Anyway, back to this machine. So let's have a wee butcher's at it. So, on the side, on the left, we have an infrared port, and underneath that, a hardware volume control. We have a CD-ROM drive, CD-ROM reader, 1.44 meg floppy drive, which is kind of a bit patchy, whether it works or doesn't. And on the front, you have two speakers, a left speaker and a right speaker, and not sure what that is. Could be the microphone, could be just a bass or a tweeter port or something. Then here you have what I believe is the battery. Yep, the battery, which does not work. Then you have a 56k modem, vent, PCMCIA card slots, Kensington lock slot, and then on the rear of the machine, nope, is that a Kensington? I don't know. Anyway, there's yeah, on the rear you have DCN, PS2 mouse port, IEEE 1284 parallel printer port, a single USB port, RS-232 serial port with a DB9 connector, VGA 15-pin D-sub connector, microphone out, let's see if I can see the icons. Yep, microphone out, line in, headphone out, or speaker out. So there are the ports on this machine. Like I said, the battery no longer works. So what we're going to have to do is actually plug it in. So we're starting the system. I kind of like that, starting system. Now this machine does have, or does appear to have, its original installer, but I don't believe that there are any personal files on here. If there were, it wouldn't be really any of my business what they were, but hey ho. So this appears to be running, as far as I can tell, Windows 98 First Edition. And I've been messing about with this machine last night. I did manage to kind of get the floppy disk drive to read a bit better by scooshing a wee bit of contact cleaner in the drive. I know that's not the best way to do it, but to be honest, at this point, I'm not fancying, I'm not actually fancying having to take the machine apart, but, you know, if it does come to that, I have spoken to the seller. I've reached out to the seller, actually, because I really, I wouldn't mind a partial refund, given that it was sold as all is working. And that wasn't the case. But, you know, if I can't get that, then fuck it. I will break out the screwdrivers and the cotton buds and see if I can get this thing to work, because I'd like this thing to work, because it's in pretty good condition, actually, apart from the floppy drive. Doesn't seem to have been bashed about. And if we have a look at the spacebar, yes, there is usage on it. It actually looks a bit worse on camera than it really is, but it doesn't seem like it was used like overly used. Doesn't seem like, you know, what one of my laptops might have been back in the day. And then you have the music sound scheme, which was the default on Packard Bells. So this is quite interesting how, you know, the person has, well, this machine has shortcuts to different things. CD-ROM, D, floppy drive, drive C, easy photo print, email, Microsoft Excel. It basically just looks like a new workbook. But that's not the most interesting shortcut. The most interesting shortcut has to be this Microsoft Works word processor document, which serves as a shortcut to Microsoft Word. There you go. Apparently now we're in Word. Now this machine does have the real Microsoft Word on it. Here we go. And this is the first time I've actually visited Microsoft Word on this machine. And this is Windows 98 First Edition. And it looks like someone had a Virgin Internet branded Internet Explorer installed. So we have LapLink, Norton Antivirus, PC Doctor for Windows. And if we go to Extra, Norton Antivirus. I don't know which version of Norton Antivirus would have originally came with this machine, but it seems to be Norton Antivirus 2000 that is on it. See? I think this was when either 99 or 2000 was when they started to go more kind of webby. Because before that, Norton Antivirus had a pretty simple interface. But by the time we got to Norton 2002 and 2003, it has started to become a big, hulking, great mess. And then by the time we got to 2004, 2005, that was it. It was just a bit, yeah. Now when I got this machine, the MIDI wasn't working, and that's because it was set to MPU 401. However, I was able to go into the, oh dear, that went well. It was working. Now I guess it isn't, it's what, again. That's the trouble with Windows 98 First Edition. It was all very clunky. It was a bit faulty. So I've lost MIDI support. Again. So it's my intention to try and restore this machine back to factory settings. I'm not sure if I'm going to be using the right disk at this point, but I want to try and get it working because this Windows install isn't the best. Okay guys, well I've got the boot floppy working. I would say that this unequivocally shows that this CD is not meant for this machine. Bit of a shame, but well, at least I have found a way to create the appropriate boot floppy for this machine. I guess I would now be on the lookout for an appropriate boot CD. But in the meantime, I guess it's time to try and patch up this Windows install and see if I can make it work. Also, I've looked in I was able to write a copy of the tattoo file. That's a file that tells a restore CD about the computer. I was able to find some information about this machine from the tattoo file. It is indeed a Packard Bell Easy Note 3613C. It is a date on it is the 10th of June 1999. Nice. So that is a thing that exists. Also, I have all the OEM stuff. So I do plan to back all this up to my server, and in fact possibly take an image of the drive as well. However, I have found, I guess, all the guys' previous documents. They're in the recycle bin. So I'm not even going to go through them. I'm just going to click empty recycle bin. Now, normally I should do a deban, but like I say, I would like to keep the original image if I can. If it goes too bad, then I can always image the drive, and there we go. I can always image the drive and then just drop Windows 98 SE on here and make it as much like a Packard Bell as I can. It's really not using too much in the way of disk space. Well, I guess it actually is. It's using a gigabyte, but not too bad. Now let's see if I can actually alter my mouse pointer to something that I can actually flame and use. The animated hourglass. I kind of like that one. I also like the 3D mouse pointer. Okay, so that's done. What I think I will do is I'll put Norton Utilities, I think, on here. I think I've got Norton Utilities 2000. And that way I can get it to scan for... I can get it, hopefully, to scan for loose program files and what have you when I go in and install programs. Basically kind of an older version of Revo Uninstaller. I wonder if there is a version of Revo for Windows 98. That I should probably look into before loading the system down with bloatware. As it turns out, I might have just found what I'm looking for. Last night I did get my network up and running, just so that I could try the boot floppy creators I'd downloaded last night. Turns out it was on the hard drive all along, Jay. Ray. Now, I got this from oldversion.com. It says it's from 2010, and which immediately sets alarm bells ringing because not many people will have made programs for Windows 98 in 2010. So I don't think that works. So I've managed to find a copy of Norton SystemWorks 2000. So let's get to installing it, and that sound brings back memories. I remember that in, I think, SystemWorks 2002. I did install Norton Utilities 4.0. If you're installing Norton SystemWorks to investigate a possible virus, recover erase files, repair disk errors, cancel the installation and run the enclosed emergency disk before installing Norton SystemWorks. So, with this I get Norton Utilities 2000, Norton Antivirus 2000, already have it, Norton Clean Sweep 2000, Norton CrashGuard 2000, Norton Web Services, Norton 2000 and Norton Ghost. Oh well. Let me select manual protection. And to be honest, I think it's actually Clean Sweep that I would be needing. But as soon as I've installed this, I will be looking to see how well I can make the Windows installation better. I'll run things like the system file checker. I'll run the Norton Disk Doctor for defragging the drive. And I will have a look at the rescue disk, see if there's anything I can do from out with Windows, like defragging the hard disk. So I will come back once this is installed. Now, a lot of people might say that I've actually made this install a lot worse. And you're probably right, but I wasn't really that sure at which point Norton became a bit, well, I wasn't entirely sure at which point Norton actually kind of became quite screwy. Okay, so now we have Norton SystemWorks. Excellent. So we have Norton Utilities. So this is again quite a webby thing, but I do like the color-codedness of it. So what I think I'm going to do first is I'm going to run clean sweep. Now, one thing that I would like to run is the uninstall wizard. This was what this exercise was meant for. So this wizard will guide you through the process of uninstalling a program. So I want to uninstall all the printer drivers. Now I'm going to be completely honest, I'm not entirely sure I like this way of it uninstalling stuff. I much prefer Revo's way of actually running the installer. Or at least the uninstaller, rather. So this is now a way to... Oh yikes, temporary internet files. This machine probably will have been on the net as well at some point. I've never have checked it. So I believe it wants me to back everything up first. No, I don't want to confirm the contents of the deletion of each thingy. Approximately 2 million bytes will be uninstalled. Excellent. So I've got all different kinds of things in here. Archive wizard, compress infrequently used programs for future use. Backup wizard can create a compressed backup of a program for extra security. Move wizard, move a program to a different driver folder. Or transport wizard, copy a program to another computer. We've also got registry sweep, duplicate file finder, redundant DLL finder, unused file type finder, and orphan finder. Find files of items that have been left behind by programs. Quickly remove unnecessary files to free up disk space. Apparently there's 36 kilobytes can be freed. Really? Okay then. Internet cache cleanup. Cookie cleanup. Nothing. Plugin cleanup. Nothing. ActiveX cleanup. Nothing. So if I've really uninstalled all the Canon software, if I were to open up the web browser, the Canon Easy Print toolbar should no longer be there. Let's find that out. Oh, it's still there. Would you believe it? My web search. That sounds like a terrible thing to have on the computer. So I think the best way to do things is well, first of all, I think it's a good idea to uninstall programs themselves and then run clean sweep to clean up any orphaned things. So Canon Utilities Easy Photo Print. So let's uninstall that. We don't need any printer drivers. Oh, Easy Web Print. It's still there. So maybe it did uninstall the actual Canon software, but Easy Web Print wasn't in the start menu group. But that, I mean, yeah, Norton Clean Sweep will maybe uninstall programs that don't have an uninstaller, but I would like to. I would have liked to have seen it being actually let me uninstall programs using this list and then look for orphaned files. But then, you know, don't waste your time with paid for programs and, you know, use a free one like Revo Uninstall. Are you sure that you want to remove the My Web search bar? Yes, I would like to do that. Get rid of that. That'll apparently be completely uninstalled at my next reboot. Screensaver what? I don't trust it, so that's gonna be gone as well. And I will uninstall the Pentax USB stuff. The person who had this laptop last must have been a photographer to have used a Pentax camera. Or maybe not. So I suppose before I actually do anything with the SystemWorks, what I should do is reboot. So I have now removed at least a few programs. Let's have a look at what is and isn't there. Oh, the Epson stuff is still there. So that I could probably use Norton Desktop to remove. Right, and the accessibility thing is supposed to live in accessories, so away it goes. Canon 450 manual. Let's uninstall that. Also, let's tidy up the start menu in desktop a bit before we do anything. Okay, so I've tidied up that, got rid of that. Right, I don't want shortcuts to any drives on the disk. And these silly Word and Excel so-called shortcuts, don't need that. Or that. Or that. There we go. And that's a shortcut, don't need that either. So there we have it, we're starting to tidy things up a bit. I've got some Packard Bell images. Okay, so there was Internet Explorer wallpaper of a TV with a VCR and a DVD player. Right. Okay, that's kind of random. I think that's probably one of my favourite ones for this. I think it goes quite nicely, actually. Yep, I think that is the one I'm going to go with. So let's go back to the uninstall wizard and we'll select Epson, and then hopefully we can get that removed. Let's now let's go through the advanced things. See if we can't get rid of some extraneous values. Then we'll do a defrag. So while this has been running, I've actually been sorting out the root of drive C. I've tidied it up by a wee bit at least. and I've also decided to copy some of the folders found on here to my server. There we go. That's going to take a wee bit, so while that's working away, I think what I will do is deal with some of the registry stuff. So I'm going to click clean. Find the let's run the orphan finder. So these would be files orphaned by programs that have been uninstalled. And see if we can get clean sweep to get rid of those. So here we are, about a week after the last video segment was recorded, and advanced power of management. Last time your computer, reason it's well, and the reason this video is actually behind schedule as well is because, well, last week I was very busy. But you might notice the desktop has changed by quite a bit. Let me show you what all I've actually been up to. First of all, I have actually... Jings, this is still quite slow. Oh, there we go. First of all, I actually went and uninstalled IE6 and installed instead IE 5.01. Now, if we go to Internet Explorer, we see that it's no longer provided by Virgin Net and is just a regularly unbranded version, but it's still Internet Explorer version 5.0. I have also installed a few of the goodies. So, for example, Front Page Express, which obviously comes with Windows 98 First Edition, but just wanted to make sure it was on there, because I like Front Page Express. I've also run Norton Speed Disk, Norton Disk Doctor. I actually managed to boot from the Norton SystemWorks 2000 CD to get that, actually. Not sure where I put my Norton SystemWorks 2000 disc just at this moment in time, but yep. So Norton SystemWorks has actually been installed, and I've run everything. I've run the System Doctor, well, everything apart from the antivirus. When I posted pictures of this machine in the retro computer group that I'm in, there was someone on there who was like, "You need 20-year-old AV, 20-year-old AV, why do you need AV?" Well, it wasn't for Norton Antivirus that I installed this, but bearing in mind, Norton Antivirus was actually installed on this machine. Never used Norton Crash Guard, I must admit. I've always wondered freeze check analyzes a selected program for freezes and gives you access to recovery options. Oh, right, okay, that's pretty cool. So I guess if I was working on a program and it froze, then I'd be able to actually open it up and whatchamacallit, and crash guard and have a look into it. That said, Windows 9X, if something crashes, the whole machine's going to go down with it. That's probably why Norton Crash Guard has been consigned to the dustbin of history. But like I said, I have looked at different things. Sorry I didn't get around to videoing them. Norton 2000. What exactly is Norton 2000? Norton 2000 Wizard. Norton 2000 Wizard guides you through the process of scanning your computer for problems associated with date changes on January the 1st, 2000. But this is the Packard Bell. I'll show you some of the applications I believe it came with. So we've got net to phone and phone tools. Those are for the modem. I don't believe it came with AC/DC. Brain Train, not sure it came with that. Hobbies, there doesn't seem to be any for this machine. Internet stuff, we have the CompuServe installation. Netscape Communicator, I like that. Netscape. And I've just accidentally installed Netscape, opened Netscape Composer. And of course, before you can use Netscape, you've got to run the wizard. Communication, blah blah blah, games, hobbies, internet. We've got to AOL installation, CompuServe, Internet Courier, Namo Web 98, Netscape Navigator, PB Net at and registration, NetPass and registration, Web Easy or Web Early 98, and Web Ferret, which I think is a search engine aggregator. And then you've got what's left of the Internet Explorer program group. Encarta 98 Encyclopedia. I installed Norton SystemWorks and PaintJob Pro. Money 98 came with this, so did Photo Editor, and I think Microsoft Word and Works. And then the tools, you've got LapLink, nice. Norton Antivirus, really? PC Doctor for Windows. And the Smart Restore, which won't work because I don't have the correct recovery CD. And an electronic documentation. And someone installed the rest of Office 97. Someone who wasn't me, believe it or not. What I might do though is run PC Doctor for Windows and see what it can do. What I would love to be able to do, I mean, this system, it came from the tattoo file says June the 10th, 1999. What I would really love to do is to install a fresh, put this back to factory settings. I would love to find the correct set of restore disks for this machine and reinstall it back to factory settings. I really, really, really want to be able to do that. And yes, I did run system file check, not system file checker, ScanReg. Right, so this is more of a test platform. PC Doctor DOS, nice. Oh. So I could run it in DOS. That's pretty useful. So I get to test everything on this machine. So test the CPU, it passed. Hard drive test. Hard drive test can take over 10 minutes. Floppy test, CD, DVD test. Memory test. It passed. PCI test. It passed. Videos test. Oh, wow, I remember this. So this isn't a benchmarking utility, it literally is just a testing utility. So now we've got a direct draw test. So it's 40 by 480, 8-bit colour. 1024 by 768 in 8-bit colour. 800 by 600 in 8-bit colour. 640 by 400 in 16-bit colour. 640 by 480. Oh, now it's doing 24-bit colour, which seems to be able to do it a lower resolution. 800 by 600. Flipping, page flipping mode. So now it's doing a scrolling test. And it's passed. Modem test. PCMCIA test, it has passed. Select a keyboard type. I like this. SCR, let's have a look. Oh, scroll lock, right, okay. I'm not sure if the scroll lock option even exists. Oh, yeah, it does. This is a really neat app to have. I must admit, I do quite like it. There we go. AVI video test. Yeah, that worked. Hello, I'm recording. That sounds terrible, but it works. Yep, sound works. Red, green, blue. Luminance, geometry, focus. Yep, that all works. Fronter test, joystick. I suppose I could do... never mind. So that's PC Doctor. So, we've had a look at some really old computer utilities that probably didn't do much. But I think some of them are still useful nonetheless, certainly for the 98 era in the terms of Norton. I can't say that you would need a lot of what Norton would offer today, considering that Windows self-regulates the registry. NTFS is a lot less fragmented than the file allocation table file system. And if you're running an SSD, then under absolutely no circumstances do you even think about defragging. Because that'll just wreck the life of your solid state drive, and none of us want that. So, with that said, that concludes the video of the Packard Bell Easy Note. The Easy Note 3613C. So I hope you've all enjoyed watching this video, and please join me for my next one. Cheery bye.